Hey creative, what's up? It's your girl Jamila and welcome back to my laboratory. So fall is approaching and I'm obsessed with the Letterman style jackets. So today we're going to use our Ricoma Em1010 embroidery machine and create a Letterman style patch. I'll have everything I use listed in the description box below. And if you like this video, you learned something new, give your girl a thumbs up, share it with your friends, make sure your bell notifications on so you don't miss any of my upcoming craft tutorials.
So for this project, I'll be using this double satin collegiate applique alphabet font from Creative Appliques off of Etsy. And of course, I'll have that linked for you in the description box below. So once you purchase the file, we'll just go ahead and download it and it'll come as a zip file. So we're going to go ahead and unzip it. And it does have over 1,600 items in this file, so it takes like a minute or two to download. One of the things included in the download is a production worksheet, which basically tells you how the design is going to stitch out, right? So it's going to be the placement stitch, tack down stitch, and then it'll finish off with 2 satin border stitches. So if you need to, you can go ahead and print this off and reference it, or just leave it up on your computer, whatever works for you. So for this file, since I'm using my Ricoma Em1010 embroidery machine, I need a DST. My machine reads DST, so I went into her DST folder, and I decided to do like a 5-inch letter for this project. So I just went and grabbed the 5-inch letter J, and I dragged and dropped it over onto the USB that I use just for my embroidery files that I insert into my Ricoma machine. So for this project, I'm going to use my 7.4 by 5.5 hoop. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay my mesh cutaway stabilizer on the bottom, and then I'll cover it with my felt that I'll be using. Now, if you have tearaway stabilizer, you can use that. But I really like mesh stabilizer. Like, it's super strong, but it doesn't add any bulk or anything. And of course, I'll have that listed for you in the description box of this video. I promise once you try it, you'll absolutely love it. So once I have everything hooped nice and tight, see, that's the back and then there's the front, we'll just go ahead and pop it onto the arms of our embroidery machine. Once everything is nice and secured, we make sure everything is good. We're going to go ahead and insert our USB into our Ricoma machine and upload our file. And so to do that, we'll hit the file, which is like has the stars and it says file. Hit the red USB on the screen. Find your design. I have over 12 pages of designs, y'all. And then you're going to hit the machine button on your right. So now it's actually uploaded. So now that it's uploaded, we'll hit the machine button on the top and go ahead and find the file and insert it onto the screen. So I always like to start off with needle number 1. So I just went ahead and changed my needle. And to add my thread, I'm just doing it all in one color and making sure that it's on automatic manual so that it stops after every section, right? So it'll do the tack down stitch, stop, placement stitch, stop, etc., etc. So once we have our screen set up, we'll just go ahead and hit the start button, and this is the placement stitch. Now, when I did this placement stitch, I was like, you know what, I really should have just floated the felt and not necessarily hooped it into the hoop. And you'll see why, understand what I mean towards the end of the video, because right here, if I would have floated it, I could have just cut off the extra felt. And it would have made cleanup of the patch a whole lot easier. But that's our placement stitch. So when you're doing applique, whatever piece of fabric or material you use, you want to make sure that it covers that whole placement, that whole stitch, right? So, and I always like to hold my fabric in the furthest corner away from the needle, just to hold it still and make sure that it doesn't shift, because, you know, the needle goes so fast that sometimes it does move around. And I am using a flock vinyl. I think it just gives it like that sporty look, right? So you're going to take your curved scissors and you're going to cut as close as possible without cutting the thread to your design. Now, the Ricoma Em1010 machine does have a frame out option, which basically pushes the frame out so you can, cut it a little bit better. But you can also just take the hoop off the arms, cut your project, and then just place it back. I don't know why I just do it the hard way. I'm like trying to work around the camera or whatnot. I just really kind of want you guys to see what I'm doing. But yeah, you can just to pop it off. It doesn't, sometimes I'd be scared, like, oh, what if it loses its place or anything? But no, it's just fine. Your project could be fine. So we're just going to go ahead and continue and cut that off, like I said, as close as possible without actually cutting the thread. So once you have everything all nice and cut out, go ahead and pop your hoop back onto the arms. Make sure they're nice and secure and put your frame back in. Y'all, look how good that cut is. Ooh, and this is what the frame out button looks like on your machine, okay? Just in case you didn't know. Then we're just going to go ahead and hit start. And according to our production worksheet, that's basically all we have to do, so it's just going to go ahead and stitch out everything. And this is the first satin stitch border. And I think whatever material you use should match the first border, because I think it'll just make it blend better and look nicer. So after the first border, I was like, you know what? I don't want two white borders. So I went and changed the thread color. And then I just hit OK and I hit start. And then you'll see that it stitches on needle number 3 that I moved it to, versus number 8 that it was working to prior. So such an easy change, to do in the middle of my project. So we're just going to go ahead and let that finish stitching out. And like I said, you guys, everything I use will be listed in the description box of this video. If you like this video, you're learning something new, please give your girl a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And y'all, this is such a great money maker. Like, with football season, basketball season, you can customize team travel bags, jackets, hoodies. Like, there's just so much you can do. And the file that we purchased includes the whole alphabet, so you could just spell out their name on the back and everything. Like, y'all, don't sleep on this, okay? Patches are like a great way to make some extra income this sports season. So this is the part where I was saying I should have floated the felt, because I wouldn't have had to do this step right here, right? Cleanup would have been so much more easier had I already just clipped that off before we did the blue. But I digress, we're here now. So I basically just used my fabric scissors to cut off the bulk of it. And I'm going in with my curved scissors to, get into the tiny spots and cut as close as to the edge as possible without actually cutting the thread and ruining the project. Y'all see my helper right there? He's always in the way. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything off. Like I said, get as close to the border as possible without actually cutting it. And then once we do that, it's going to look awesome like this. Y'all, look at that. I love the way that flock look. And this is the back. You see, this is why I like the mesh. Like, it's so lightweight. And if you want to put this like on jerseys or, apparel, or sell it as a patch or whatever, you can just add heat and bond to it. And your customer can adhere it that way. I mean, add heat and bond and let them place it, or you can sew it on. But I'm just taking a lighter and just lightly running it along the edges, just to kind of, cut off any loose threads and just clean up the edges a little bit, because, the felt does kind of melt away. But you don't want to hold the lighter on one spot too long, because then it'll burn. Okay, so we're just going to do that around the edges just to clean it up and make it look nice and neat. And this is the result. I love the way that flock looked. Like, this just looks really, really good. And my daughter had a bomber jacket, so I just kind of pinned it on there to give you guys an idea of what it would look like on sportswear. But that's it, you guys. So as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you later.